Hey everyone, coldbrew here. Welcome back to another raid video. Today we're discussing a little bit about the Titan event and specifically the Titan points, the anniversary points that you get throughout the 12 weeks that this will go on all the way until March. All right, there's this raid digest that I went ahead and found from their post the other day on Friday, where they basically said, okay guys, relax, this will not be the only events for our anniversary. Titan event is not the only thing we have prepared for you. It is a big part of the 4th anniversary, so we're gonna have more things coming into the game other than this. The reason that they went ahead and posted this was because a lot of people felt cheated on, or basically that these events are a little bit too little for the amount of investment that is being made, and that's where I'm gonna get into for today's video. So basically they're saying it's a big part where you're gonna get the avatars and you get some tomes and shards, and with a little bit of luck some extra shards throughout the Titan event, but more things will come in March. I just want to show you this part right here. Boom, from the Titan events. I've been doing all the events and tournaments where you can collect points up until now. I didn't even collect my bronze chest just yet because I want to have them all available at the end and make a video around March to see, was this all worth it? Obviously it won't be worth it because the rewards here have been analyzed since day one that they're not really that great, especially because of the RNG factor, where do you really value one rare skill tome as 80 gems, which is the maximum that you can get, or 1,200 of the rare these tokens, or these even the 10 immortal soul SSS? Do you really value it at the same amount? Me personally, not so much. And even the one secret that comes after 12 weeks is not even the same worth as one chest that you collect from Ultra Nightmare. So one chest, the effort that you're going to put for the next 12 weeks is about the same as you get for 1 day's worth of farming Ultra Nightmare clan boss. You can potentially get a sacred shard instead, and I would say, yeah, focus on your clan boss team, guys. This is the most basic tip I ever give. Let's have a look though at the events and tournaments. What did Plarium take away in order to give us those points, right, in order to complete those Titan events? If we have a look at the tournaments, we're going to start out with the most recent one, which is the Fire Night tournament, which started a couple of hours ago. This is the reward structure. You get 500 anniversary points for 950 Fire Night tournament points, and then eventually at the 2250 you get the 5 fragments needed. If we have a look at the past, okay, the past events, I went ahead and searched through Reddit and found some screenshots of all the events that we had in the past, just to compare things and where we're at right now, comparing it to the past. What did they take away in order to give us those points? Remember, the 500 points that I'll get from here for 950 was replacing something else. So let's have a look at a more recent one. Is what I was trying to find. I was trying to find some screenshots of recent fusions to compare it to, and this is the most recent one, I would say, with Mighty Uko being at the 2250, exactly the same as right now, with an ancient shard there at a 1800 point, exactly the same, 1375 or 100 of those gold coins. And then at the 950, where we do have the 500 anniversary points right now, we have this 7 brews, which those move down to the lower spot right here, and the greater potions were just taken away completely. So is this worth it? Is it worth sacrificing the potions? I would say definitely. All right, it's definitely worth just taking away just potions if you're going to give me anniversary points, which will eventually give me a sacred shard. I think that is worth it. But this is only the Fire Night tournament, right? I'm not talking about the whole thing right now. So the Fire Night tournament is one of the examples. If we move down, we have the classic arena takedown. This does not give us any points, but it is obviously a little bit better in terms of what we get now with the coins here for awakenings and the gems. This is very solid, I would say, for rewards. Then we have the champion chase tournament, where here in this structure, the 1000 points used to be an epic book, which epic books, although not as sought after as legendary books, which come in at the end, the epic books are still way worth it for growing accounts that still need to get those epic champions fully skilled up to get the maximum potential out of those. So these 1000 points right here, I would say they should have been at this point where the soul stone is, and keep the epic book there. So this is clearly something that is not really worth it for newer players out there. And I'm trying to find a champion chase maybe of the same amount. I couldn't really find a champion chase screenshot to share with you guys, but I found a finite screenshot. Let me show you again from the fusion for Gaius, which was pretty much the same thing. So here we would get more silver. Instead, we would get some gems, and in the past, we wouldn't get the ancient shard here. So is an ancient shard worth 30 gems? I would say it is about the same thing. Obviously, some people value the gems straight up way more than just getting an ancient shard. And of course, silver is good, but it's not as good as, you know, the other things that we're sacrificing. So it is on average so far about the same value that we're sacrificing, except for when they replace the epic skill book. So that is the biggest thing that they, you know, slowly put into these events when they were replacing them and tournaments. And that is what makes people a little bit angrier. But let's have a look at the actual events now, right? I was talking about tournaments before. So now the artifact enhancement event, the champion training, and dungeon divers. Let's go to the artifact enhancement. Obviously, the first thing that I'm going to say, this was much more difficult than we got used to. 4,775 points to get the 5 fragments. If you compare it in the past, we wouldn't even need that amount to get the 5 fragments. Just going to give you an example of a fusion way back in the day with Krila, right? This is a screenshot and a caption there. This is what 8 million silver got me in the artifact enhancement event. So 8 million silver to get 10 fragments for a champion, and that was Krila. I think this is an artifact enhancement event, and it's not one of those events that was gonna be to get the remaining fragments that you were missing. If I'm mistaken at this, please correct me down below. This might be one of those events and not the actual fusion or fragment collection. So this might be mistaken, but obviously you see the value difference here. But I'm just saying it that this might not be the exact time that Krila was offered. And about 2 years ago, Raid actually offered during their anniversary ways for you to get fragments for those missing fragment collections that you did. So these were part of that, probably, is what I'm guessing, because it doesn't look that real to be 1,000 points for the actual fragment collection. That being said, it's still very hard for us to get these points. And obviously the 500 anniversary points are quite far away here, but are still on your way on to be getting Pythion, right? I mean, then we move on to champion training, which is okay. It was reasonable, and again, it was during your way down here to get the 1,000 points. I would say here it used to be a gem reward, probably like a 30 gem or 40 gem reward in the past, which was probably something a little bit better than what we're getting right now. If it wasn't gonna be gems here, instead of the anniversary points, it would have been chickens. So have that in mind. And then as we move on to the dungeon divers, the dungeon divers is 3350, quite a lot of points required for this one. And I found an example of dungeon divers in the past. But again, remember, these were just tournaments or events that were some time ago, and they were different than this one. So this one was just a rare champion needed for a fusion. For 2625, you would get that part of the fusion. This makes sense for it to be much earlier than that, and also offer some more rewards such as gems and energy throughout, comparing it to today's dungeon divers. I'm trying to find more screenshots, but it's not that easy to search through and get these. This is another dungeon divers where Trogor was for 3750. Dungeon divers is quite difficult, and to just give one rare for this amount is crazy. And a chicken is in the slot where we now have the 500 anniversary points. So overall, I think what Plarium did is they found the reasonable spot to put in those points. But again, I think those points should have been more easily given than just us having to actually take part in every single event and every single tournament. This is so that every single player out there should have been able to go for this milestone here, all right? Not just the people who complete every single part of the game. This should have been like collecting all these avatars. This should have been just as a reminder that you were playing Raid at the time, not as a reminder that you were being at the top of the line in rate. That's what really disappoints me about this anniversary Titan event. I wanted to make this comparison for you guys just to see just a glimpse of the past in terms of tournaments and events that we had and comparing what they've replaced. If you have more of those, please share it down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm just gonna keep on doing this because obviously this is also some solid content for me. Opening up the silver chest and all that is not only about being efficient when I'm making stuff, when I'm pushing and all that. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.